At the start of the season, the Knicks were pegged by nearly every analyst as a top 2 team in the East. The expectations were sky high, the hype was justified, and the roster looked stacked with star power and depth. Yet, what followed was a shocking stumble that had fans wondering what went wrong. They dropped 3 straight games in Miami, Milwaukee, and Chicago, matchups they could have easily won. Their offense was clunky, hesitant, and disconnected. It wasn't the polished, confident Knicks everyone had expected. The defense looked lost, rotations were slow, and the entire rhythm of the team fell off. For a moment, it seemed like the hype had outpaced reality. But just when critics started to write them off, something changed, something clicked, and suddenly, New York began to look like a legitimate title contender again. The wake-up call came in the form of that embarrassing loss to Chicago. Giving up 72 points in a single half was more than just a bad night. It was a message that forced the Knicks to confront who they were versus who they wanted to be. From that point forward, everything began to shift. Head coach Mike Brown simplified the playbook, trimming away the chaos and focusing on the fundamentals that this roster was built for. The team started running more 5-out sets, introducing smoother motion, and leaning heavily into the 2-man synergy between Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. That adjustment transformed the team overnight. Towns, who had looked unsure and hesitant early on, suddenly rediscovered his confidence. Gone were the awkward possessions and late fouls. He was decisive, aggressive, and efficient. He attacked mismatches, shot without hesitation, and crashed the boards like a man possessed. His recent stretch of dominance, averaging over 22 points, 12 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists on 63% true shooting, was exactly what New York needed to turn things around. And as Towns found his rhythm, Brunson began to evolve too. Instead of over-dribbling into tough shots, he trusted his teammates, distributing to OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Towns in stride. The result was a flowing offense, one that finally matched the team's identity on paper. But this wasn't just about better shooting or cleaner spacing. It was about trust. The Knicks began to believe in the system and in each other. Their new starting 5, Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, and Mitchell Robinson, has posted staggering numbers with a plus 25 net rating. Defensively, they're fierce. Offensively, they're explosive. And even though there's still room for refinement, it's clear that something special is brewing in Madison Square Garden. Brunson's transition into this new offense hasn't been flawless. His metrics haven't quite reached the elite mark he set last season, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The Knicks are shifting away from a heavy ISO ball system that made them predictable. Brunson, once the league's most ball-dominant player with the ball in his hands nearly half the time, is now learning to play off-ball, coming off screens and catch-and-shoot opportunities. This evolution is crucial, not just for Brunson's growth, but for the team's ceiling. The Knicks no longer rely on one man to create everything. Instead, they're becoming a unit capable of adapting to any defensive scheme. At the heart of this transformation is Karl-Anthony Towns. The Knicks are finally using him as a true offensive hub. Positioned around the elbow, he's making reads, handing off for open shots, and exploiting defenses that collapse too early. His passing out of those sets has become a quiet weapon. In recent games, we've even seen creative wrinkles, like guard screens that allow Towns to step back into open jumpers. This offense isn't about isolation anymore. It's about movement unpredictability and making defenses guess on every possession. Yet, no system thrives without its role players finding their rhythm. Josh Hart, despite battling through injuries, has regained his trademark energy. His rebounding, hustle, and smart decisions are fueling the second unit. Coming off the bench has actually elevated his impact, allowing him to take on more ball-handling duties and keep the tempo high when the starters rest. OG Anunoby, meanwhile, has been a quiet force of consistency, averaging over 18 points with elite efficiency on both ends. His ability to stretch the floor while anchoring the defense has been invaluable. Mikal Bridges continues to shine as a two-way cornerstone, knocking down shots at a blistering rate and providing much-needed composure. And then there's Jordan Clarkson, whose role has shifted away from high-volume isolation to a more disciplined catch-and-shoot scorer. The entire roster seems to finally understand their roles, and the results have been immediate. Since their 0-3 start, The Knicks have rattled off a 3-game win streak that feels like a statement. They're moving the ball, defending with passion, and playing the kind of basketball that New York fans have been craving for years. Their recent performances tell the story of a team rediscovering itself. They beat Washington handily, dismantled Minnesota, and avenged their loss to Chicago with authority. The offense is humming, averaging nearly 120 points per 100 possessions over the last stretch, with a jaw-dropping 143 offensive rating in their latest win. The energy is contagious. You can see it in the way the bench celebrates, in the way Brunson and Towns feed off each other's momentum. Of course, there's still work to be done. Towns needs to stay locked in defensively, avoiding the lapses that cost the team in close games. Ball security remains a focus too. Though the Knicks have cut turnovers dramatically, they can't afford careless possessions if they want to compete with teams like Boston or Milwaukee come playoff time. There's also the question of whether to stagger Towns and Mitchell Robinson more, allowing for a smaller, faster lineup with McBride shooting. It's a tempting option, and one that could make their offense even more dynamic. But these are good problems to have. They're the kind of adjustments great teams make when fine-tuning for the postseason. The foundation is solid. The chemistry is growing, and the Knicks finally look like the powerhouse fans believe they could be. Every possession now feels purposeful, every rotation tighter, every player invested in the bigger picture. What began as a shaky start has turned into a redemption story in real time. And the beauty of it all? This feels sustainable. Mike Brown's system isn't built on hot streaks or individual brilliance. It's built on structure, accountability, and unselfish play. The Knicks aren't just winning games. They're building habits that can carry them deep into playoffs. If Towns continues to dominate, Brunson keeps evolving, and the supporting cast stays sharp, this team might just rewrite the narrative of the Eastern Conference entirely. So, what do you think, Knicks fans? Is this the real version of the team we've been waiting for? Can this new system carry them all the way to a championship run? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation. There's a lot more basketball ahead, and something tells me this Knicks story is just getting started.